Hello and welcome to EATV. Today's subject will be house prices and the casino roulette table style situation we're in at the moment, at present, in London, UK. Being in London, you're always inundated from people talking about house price and how well they are doing and, and stuff like that. Banks love the idea of these high prices for the same bricks and mortar that was the previous year or the 10 years ago. Because the asset, the same thing, they're getting more money from the same thing. House buyers see the value going up and think, well, I'm worth more. But in truth, the casino house price is a liability for everyday people, not a win-win for the people themselves. Because you've got to think about how will your kids afford the house that now is going to levels of 250,000, 500,000. We've got to be realistic. The thing is, where do normal people fit into this picture? And into a picture where London seems to cater for and does cater for the wealthy investors from overseas, and a lot of them come here with dirty money and they use that money to buy property, which pushes up the value of their London house stock, because they're not bothered about what price they pay. There's other factors in this as well. The previous government, the Labour government, they printed money into the supply, into the currency. They printed money and they covered it up with quantitative easing, a lovely little word that they used there, quantitative easing. And realistically, what that really was is a fancy word for printing money. And what we do when we print money is we create more demand and we increase the price of items, property, food, books, whatever you want to call it, phones. We increase that price. Printing money serves, again, the well-to-do, the rich people. It doesn't really serve the ordinary people, because now you've got to find more money for the same item, which doesn't really do us any good in the long term. And when you get this for years on year on year on year, what we have, you have the situation what we have today, which is casino house prices throughout London and crazy rents. If you talk to baby boomers, that kind of generation, and you take, for example, the £5 note, they will tell you that a £5 note had considerably more buying power than a £5 note today. And that, to me, shows the signs of the currency and where it's going. And also, if we look at the currency as well, we have now coins that are predominantly made more of iron than quality metals, because you can see a lot of £1, a lot of tuppences, 5 pences, 10 pences, they've got iron in them now. You look at the notes themselves, like the £5 note and the £10 note, and they're not made of paper anymore, they're made of plastic. And if you go back to pre-1945 or to the turn of the century, 1900s, you would see that a lot of the coinage had silver in it. So we've come from having coinage that was made from gold and silver, precious metals. We've come to a point where we've got plastic notes. You know, even monopoly money has paper notes. Both the factors of the overseas investors and the printing of money doubles and quadruples the prices of what a normal house should be worth. You know, the everyday individual just wants a home to live in for shelter and utilities. But it's just become a massive asset to the banks and the economy. The governments are using like the London house prices like bullion for overseas investors, and the overseas investors see it as like, rather than buy a piece of gold or something else, I'll buy a London house price. It's become like a popular trend. You know, they've created a trend where you buy a London pad and you store your money there. And that's not been done by accident. It's not like all of a sudden people have decided that. You know, that's a strategy from the UK government and the leadership of the London area. You know, so, you know, it's not what the media would like us to believe, want us to believe, which they normally, the way they put it across to make us believe that it's all just happened like that. There's been real strategy behind that. Currency, we know, goes up and down, and it's volatile, we know that. But when you add all these measures, what they're doing, you know, it really does blow the ordinary person out of the water in the bigger picture of things. The media will blame something, like they'll throw out a red herring like the Brexit is going to destroy the economy, when, you know, we've been in this situation before Brexit. The prices have been going up before Brexit. People are paying more for the same thing before Brexit. You know, it's just, I think it's just a red herring. You know, to scare people, the scare tactics, put fear in people's heart. You know, oh, this is going to happen. When realistically, they've always been pandering for the rich and famous and the wealthy and the big business and the overseas investor. That's always been their goal, to pander to those people. And obviously the poor housekeeping. You've got people that can't calculate 2 + 2 is 4 in, you know, running the finances of the country. Either that, or they're just doing it on purpose because the debt is just increasing. We've got no way of reversing the massive debt of the country, so it looks as though we're running a debt system that the few become very rich and the rest of us have to foot the bill. And I don't accept that one little bit. My conclusion to all this would be that London has become a playground for the rich and famous, and housing has become like an industry in London, you know. And when I look back in my local area, we used to make light bulbs. There used to be industry, Bellins, in the Enfield area. There used to be some kind of manufacturing. Now that's all gone. It's just service industry and houses, property market, you know, and other things going on. But all that's said and done, you know, we have to think, where do we fit into the picture? And these well-to-do people, these elite people, they've got places they can bolt to and stuff like that. We have to, they can jump ship, but can we jump ship whenever we need to? And we have to think about where we fit into the bigger picture of all this, and how can we improve things here, and how can we go forward? How can the everyday person, the regular United Kingdom person, progressively move forward in this setup that we have? So thank you very much for listening to the video. Please consider supporting this channel by liking and subscribing. Thank you very much.